Hola everyone and welcome to PanterA Riff of the Week. Today I'm gonna be talking about the main theme of Cowboys from Hell, the intro riff, and the one that he plays right after the solo, and I'm gonna talk about the official live version of it, which I think is a pretty cool one. So let's talk about that. So let's talk about the main riff first. So we're in the 12th position. We're gonna use alternate picking starting with the downstroke. So it's down, up, throughout the main theme. Down picking E12, also palm muting. Everything is palm muted on the E string. And then upstroke on the 15th, so it's, you double that. And then you go down to the A12, open it up, and then with an upstroke, you pick the E15th and also palm mute that. Double this and then down on A13, go back to 15th, palm mute again, and then 12th again on the A string, and then up on the 15th, and then at the end, it's A13th with a downstroke, up on 14th, and then down on the E12. So far, this is how it sounds and it looks. Repeat that twice, and in between each part, there's a little rest at the very end of the bar. So make sure that you mute it there after this. Okay, so here we are at bar number 3. So the third time that we're gonna start repeat the lick, this main theme. And now we engage and turn on the wah pedal and kind of go to a lower mid position with it. More to the lower side, but depending on the wah pedal, it can differ. Everything is the same up until this part. And then we're gonna pick the 13th on the D string, A string, downstroke, and then hammer on to the 14th, and then up on the 12th. And instead of having a rest at the end, we're gonna pick the 14th on the A string down again. So, and also mute that. And now, let's continue the lick, the last bar. I turned off the wah pedal, so you can hear it better. We're gonna start with an upstroke on the D14th, and then down on the A14th, and also palm mute that one. So, and then upstroke on D12. And with the triplets, you hammer on to the 13th and 14th. So, and then upstroke on G12 and go back to D14th with the palm mute and downstroke, so far. And then at the end, G12 down and then up the 14th, and it's a pre-bend, a whole note pre-bend, which you release to 14th and pull off to 12. And as you can hear, there's a little mute, a little rest in between the 12th and the 14th. And you do that by putting pick on a string. So as you could hear, it makes that sound, that noise there. See? And then we're gonna bend up the B15th with a downstroke. With the wah pedal, the last part would sound like this. And that's about it. So let me show you the last 2 bars together. And extremely heavy vibrato at the end. That's about it. Thank you very much. This was it for today. Hope that you enjoyed today's lesson and maybe even learned something from it. If you have any questions or suggestions, please feel free to leave them in the comment section. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell. And I also have a Patreon site if you want to support me in this journey. It would be nice from you to do that. So also, I'm gonna be doing more of these short little lessons, more PanterA riffs, parts like this. So if you have any suggestions on what riffs would you like to hear and learn from me, just leave them in the comment section, and I'll see you next time. Have a lovely one. Ciao.